So, today I'll be discussing how Nestle uses data and analytics to support decision making in this global supply chain. So, Nestle is one of the world's largest food and beverage manufacturers. It owns well known brands such as Nescafe, KitKat, and Maggi, and it has operation in 413 factories globally that supply retailers and consumers in 140 in 186 countries. Because Nestle produces a wide range of food and drinks, many of which are perishable, it faces a major operation challenge in the supply chain. So the key business challenge I will focus in this presentation is how Nestle can balance inventory, product freshness, and customer demand in order to reduce waste while ensuring product availability. So this involved questions such as how much of each product to produce and where to produce it, how much inventory to hold at each stage in the supply chain, how to ensure that products reach store shelves and while staying fresh without holding excessive stock that could expire and be wasted. Given the global scale of Nestle, these decisions cannot be made effectively by human intuition alone. They require strong business intelligence and data analytics capabilities. So, in this presentation, I will explain the role of data in decision making at Nestle, discuss the opportunities created by using data analytics, highlight the limitations and challenges, and finish with a brief conclusion. So, to understand how Nestle tackles this challenge, it is helpful to distinguish between business intelligence and data analytics. So, business intelligence is about collecting, storing, and delivering organization data to managers. It relies on tools such as extract, transform, and load, which is also known as ETL processes, data warehouses, dashboards, and standard reports. So, business intelligence also provides the information and infrastructure and ensures that managers have consistent and reliable data. Whereas data analytics builds on this infrastructure, it involves using statistical methods and data mining techniques to gain insights, make prediction, and optimize decisions. So basically, business intelligence kind of helps us to answer the question of what is happening, whereas data analytics focuses on what will happen and what should the company do. Nestle's approach to decision making aligns also with the concepts of descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics is basically what happened. It's basic reporting on sales, inventory levels, and waste indicators for all their items. Predictive analytics is basically what will happen, and it is about forecasting future demands and inventory requirements by analyzing historical sales in operation data. And prescriptive analytics is basically what should we do? It is taking predictions and turning them into actions, like how much to produce, how much to stock, and when to restock for different markets and goods. Nestle also uses prediction and prescriptive analytics to keep its stock more fresh by lining up production stock levels and expected demands. This cuts down on stockouts and waste. Nestle also uses a lot of data to keep their supplies freshness and demand all in balance. First, Nestle collects large amount of structured data from its operations. For instance, sales transaction data from retailers, production data from factories, such as batch sizes and production dates, inventory levels at warehouses, and logistics data, including shipment times, routes, and transportation costs. This data is typically stored in databases and data warehouses, which makes it easier to analyze. Nestle also uses secondary data, such as market and industry reports on consumer trends, government statistics like population and income. Also, weather data, which can influence demand for certain categories, such as their ice cream and hot drinks for different seasons. There's also unstructured data, for example, social media posts and online reviews that mention Nestle brands and products, customer and retailer feedback. Together, these data sources contribute to what we call big data, which in Nestle's case is characterized by several of the V's also seen in the lectures, which are volume, velocity, variety, and veracity and complexity. So Nestle defines and tracks key performance indicators, which is KPIs, such as stockout rates, uh, inventory days on hand, um, levels of product waste, especially for their perishable items, and on-time delivery and lead times. So analysts can then examine patterns in these KPIs and the underlying data. For instance, basically identifying which product or regions have high waste due to their products expiring before being sold, and analyzing how demand responds to promotion and price changes, and understanding how seasonality and external factors affect sale patterns. From this analysis, Nestle gains insights such as like which products are consistently overproduced or underproduced. Based on these insights, decision makers can adjust production plans and their batch sizes, revise safety stock levels in specific warehouses, and reduce the amount of time it takes the product from going from the factory like to to the shelves. So opportunities of using data analytics for this challenge um, opens up many opportunities for Nestle. For instance, it can have better demand forecasting to balance inventory and their freshness. And like traditionally, companies might rely on human judgment to forecast demands. However, Nestle can use this predictive analytics on its historical sales data, combined with factors such as seasonality, promotion, prices, and external variables like weather and holidays, to answer questions basically like how much of each product will be needed in each region and time periods. So, with more accurate forecasts, Nestle can plan production quantities more precisely, reducing both underproduction and overproduction. So, it can also position inventory to the point of sale while still keeping it as fresh as possible. It can also reduce the risk of products expiring in the warehouse and on the shelves. In other words, predictive analytics help Nestle to hold enough stock to meet the demand. Um, so yeah. So another opportunity is um, data analytics can be applied to Nestle's logistics and network design problems by analyzing transport times, costs, and Nestle can basically build optimization models that decide the most efficient routes of products from factories to warehouses and then to retailers. So they can also determine which distribution centers should hold which products and what quantities to basically minimize their total cost and their waste. So another opportunity is quality and shelf life monitoring using production and sensor data. Within factories, Nestle can collect detailed process and sensor data from production lines, such as the temperature and times at each processing stage, their storage conditions and packaging line speeds and downtimes. So, identifying patterns that lead to reduced product quality or shorter effective shelf life by improving um, sorry. So this gives more flexibility in the supply chain and reduces waste due to the quality issues. So limitations and challenges of using data analytics. Despite the benefits, Nestle faces several limitations and challenges when using data analytics. So the first one is data quality. Sometimes the data may contain errors, inconsistencies, or missing values. Um, So inconsistent product codes or inaccurate expiration dates on the labels. Number two is strong ETL methods. Big data technologies and cloud computer are needed to combine different types of data sources, such as weather data, logistics provider data, and retail systems. This, however, can be expensive, though, and they have to keep learning like new skills, which can slow down sometimes their projects. So, for people and culture, for something to work, it needs to be skilled analysts who know how the supply chain works, and managers who are willing to act on insights instead of their like gut feeling. Um, there may be resistance from the employees. Um, this can cause gaps between technical teams and decision makers. Um, Next. So analytics must be in line with what the company wants to achieve. Analytical tools can be wasted sometimes on problems that aren't as important when priorities are not clear or change over time. Without carefully managing these four areas, even high quality analytics have limited impacts on actual business decisions and strategic goals. So, to conclude, Nestle has a big problem with its supply chain. It needs to find the right balance between inventory, freshness, and customer demand to cut down on waste while still making sure products are available. Business intelligence gives you the tools you need to gather, store, and share operational market data. Analytics then expands on that by giving you predictive projections, optimization models, and early signals. This makes it easier to predict demand more accurately, optimize productions and logistics, which cuts down on lead times and improve quality and processes control for longer and more reliable shelf life. So, to get these benefits, Nestle needs to deal with data quality, combine data from different sources, and handle the complexity of technology and changes, and people as well. So, when these are used correctly, historical data and analytics can help manufacturing and distribution. Fresh products go more smoothly, cut down on waste, keep customers happy, and also stay competitive. So, yeah, thank you for listening.